Hello, welcome back to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo, and this here is my co-host, Mr. Stephen Paul Green.
AKA.
He does not go by any other names.
That's false information.
And we are here to answer your questions. It's been a while. It has been a while. I think it's been, I'm sorry for pointing, it's been like a few months.
Pointing is rude. Do the Disney. Do the Disney hand gesture. There.
I'll do the Bill Clinton.
Present.
Can I Bill Clinton it?
No. Present. Yeah.
You can only point with two fingers.
No, that's two in the pink one. That's two in the pink. And then that's one in the stink.
One. Well, you got to have one in the stink.
You got to have one in the stink.
What's the point of the two in the
point.
pink? This is what I always say.
That's what my mom always said.
I'm like, what is your pinky?
Hi, Mom.
Is your pinky broken? Anyway.
She says she listens to us at night.
So occasionally we will do an Ask Us Anything segment, in which case you may ask us anything on any topic. We may or may not read it. I don't pre-screen these questions ahead of time, but if you say something awkward, I'll probably have Mark cut it out. You can email us your questions, podcast at nikki.limo. That's podcast at nikki.limo. I will leave it in the description as well. People always ask, like, where do I submit the questions? I say it usually in the episode. Yeah, podcast at nikki.limo. If you are a Patreon member, patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI, not only do you receive the perks of being part of our awesome Discord community, we do free roll poker tournaments every month. We also do a live stream, and Steve does a weekly crypto corner stream where he talks about all of the things that are going on in the crypto markets.
For hours
and hours, and answers all of your questions. You also receive the perk of getting your questions answered first on this Ask Us Anything segment. So, speaking of which, we have a few Patreon questions that I will start with, even though they weren't the first questions submitted. They are the Patreon questions submitted. So, this first one is, please make up a funny name for me.
Oh, God, it's on the spot?
Yeah, on the spot. Do it. You're an improv person.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're Silly String 81.
Silly String
Nothing
81.
sillier than Silly String.
Were they born in 1981? Or that's just their favorite number?
That's their favorite sports team player's jersey.
It's a prime number, so that's cool. Anyway, dear Nikki and Iceman. I don't know who Iceman is because my co-host's name is Stephen Paul Green.
That's me.
First, thank you for being around. You are like that cool couple at a party who just gives you truth bombs that totally changes your world perspective. I can tell you also love sharing information to help others, which warms my heart and makes me believe that there are good people in this world willing to share their knowledge and experience with the world. You two are super smart and range of intelligence is huge. And you are both funny, attractive, and like super hot. I'm a longtime listener and recently joined the Patreon. Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed with compliments.
You're the best.
We are fueled by compliments. If this is your first time listening,
yeah, it
helps us answer the question more accurately, although all of these questions are for entertainment purposes only.
We are not experts.
Don't sue us. We are not experts on anything.
So just don't sue us. That's really
the point. Don't sue us. Okay. Now to my two questions. Two questions, okay? Stephen Paul Green.
I got it.
One, I've lately been noticing that a little voice in my head is telling me to give up and telling me I don't have the right brain to succeed, make friends, or that people actually like me. I also can't really take criticism at work. I feel embarrassed and angry, and then after I keep thinking that I'm going to lose my job and my boss is going to fire me. Do I need to build up my emotional intelligence? I don't even know where to start. How do I identify what triggers the inner critic? How do I process my feelings? Is there a good book I can start with?
That little critic is called fear. That's all it is. And it's a normal reaction. What you're going through is very normal.
It's also probably something that stemmed from your childhood at some point. Usually things like this are any tics that make you feel bad is usually due to some sort of childhood trauma or incident. So unpacking that might be a good start as well. Maybe you talk to a therapist to try to find that if you are having a hard time analyzing it yourself.
The big thing that I want you to do is just remember that you are worthy of things. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to have this inner critic convince you that you're not worthy of things, but you are actually worthy of things. I think that's one of the biggest disconnects for people sometimes when they get down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and the way that you worded this, I don't have the right brain to succeed. I relate heavily to this because I think it might be like an ADD thing or like a, neurodiverse thing where your brain operates differently. And so you feel broken sometimes. I don't know. This is could just be projection, but that part resonated with me just because of the way you worded it, that I didn't realize till later because I was diagnosed like way later in life. I was 33 when I got diagnosed, and everything made sense after that. I was able to like heal and really like accept all of me, like the way that my brain works is very frustrating sometimes, but it also can do things that other people can't, which is like there's like your brain is just wired differently. And when you can figure out what those strengths are that they kind of complement other people's strengths, you can actually like realize how much value you have and can contribute. So, don't think of your brain as not being right to succeed. There are many, many successful people like Albert Einstein that were failures in school that like couldn't pay attention to, teachers said they wouldn't amount to anything. Eminem dropped out of school, failed ninth grade 3 times just to, name a real hero in American history.
True heroes.
True heroes of American history.
And inventors.
Those are the ones I can think of right now.
Pretty good.
But like, Edison trying things 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, that whole famous thing.
Yeah, dude. And everyone was like, Edison, you're never going to crack that light bulb shit.
Give it up.
You're never going to crack that light bulb shit, Edison. Give it the fuck up.
And there were people
Go work at your father's tire store.
The big candlestick was really like mad.
They were.
Yo, you're never going to defeat us, Edison. Candles forever.
Edison,
candles for life.
Hey, Edison, tell everybody that story about the switch that you flip and it lights a room up. That stupid son of a bitch. That's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my life.
Where are they going to sing happy birthday to a light flickering? Candles, bitch.
It's all about the candles, Edison. You don't have the vision.
Yeah. So I think that when it feels like you're fucking up a lot, then it's easy to have a critic in your head being like, you're a fuck up, and then you just kind of, the more we become the stories we tell ourselves, right? So if we tell ourselves that story over and over and over again, we start to really believe that we're stupid and we can't do anything right and whatever. And
it's imposter syndrome too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then not being able to take criticism, it's because like I'm already mad at myself and now you're criticizing me. And it's like I'm mad at you now because like I was already mad at myself, beating myself up for that, and now you're criticizing me.
Even a confident person is not 100.1% confident every fucking day, right?
Yeah.
Like this is very normal stuff, and you need to embrace that this is just part of who you are and how you deal with stuff sometimes. Like,
yeah.
Like Nikki goes through some stuff that I would say
all the time.
Yeah. And
it's in waves.
It's a weird part of her process where she like has to be like depressed about this new thing that she's doing. And then she has to like force herself to do it, but hate it. And then like she basically moshes around about it for a little while. But it's this beautiful process that eventually gets her. It really is. But it gets her to where she's going to go every time. It's just as simple as like when you get in the car, you put the seatbelt on, right? You turn the ignition on, you check your mirrors. This is what Nikki does in order for her to get to where she's going.
I absolutely hate it.
And she hates it, but it's part of her process. We all have weird processes for whatever we're doing.
Every time I go through it too, it feels like the only time I've ever gone through it. And Steve has to remind me that I do this every time.
Single time. There's never a time she hasn't done it.
Yeah.
And every time she's been successful at anything, it's because of this process.
It doesn't start there. Like I start with excitement and then I start with like really passionate and then I like burn out after a minute and I go, oh no, what if this doesn't work? And I just exhausted like all of my energy. And then I spiral into depression and want to melt into the ground. And then I power through and finish it anyway. And then I
against all odds
throw it to the wind and I like hide and like figure out, like you tell me what happens.
Nikki does the full hero's journey, I would say, every 4.5 days. Every 4.5 days.
And I don't have a solution for that. I just journal, I guess.
Shit, which helps her brain.
I mean, you
dump.
said, how do I process my feelings? You know, I mean, you can try journaling.
It's a good idea.
Journal out all of your fears. Journal out all of the things you want to happen, like your ideal version of yourself. Journal out, all the positives, the things that you're grateful for, the things that you've already built, just to remind yourself that you're a capable human being.
Check your wins.
And then sometimes, when you read back on like the things you're scared about, they seem silly. After like you go back after a year and read those things, after a while, you're like, oh, that's funny that I was scared of that. and there you have new fears after that.
Absolutely. You're
And
just replacing old fears with new
lots
fears.
of cycles. But is there a good book you can start with? Let's see. I don't know. Like, what's a good book? There's a lot of good books, but if I remember, I'll put it in the description because I can't think right now of a perfect book. Maybe Ego is the Enemy. That one's pretty good. Try that one. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, I think his name is. Ryan Holiday. Yeah, try that one.
Sick.
All right. And number 2, the second question was, how would one go about finding a good scalable side business to start that could give me fulfillment and also make some cash? That one's a tougher one to answer.
Depends on your interests.
Exactly. And we're not business experts.
That's
but
for sure.
I would think less about what's good and scalable rather than I would start from what I'm interested in and passionate about.
What do you like to do, bro?
Because it really doesn't matter how scalable is it doesn't matter how scalable it is. If you're not interested, it will drain you. And then it's not really a side business. It's just something that sucks up all your energy.
Side drag.
And anything takes a long time to jumpstart, it doesn't just become scalable overnight. So you really have to commit a lot to it. And if you're going to commit a lot to something on the side, it's got to be something you really enjoy doing.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. Or you're a robot and you don't really care about enjoyment. And
you like money, in which case, dude, go get a fucking vending machine business going, bro.
Yeah, I have so many Twitter threads saved of there's cleaning businesses where you actually don't have to clean anything. You just manage a bunch of cleaners and you do all the marketing, where you post all the ads and stuff, and then you hire someone to do the cleaning at $10 less than what you posted.
Right.
And you post you ask for an hourly rate that's above the going hourly rate. So then it's what's called arbitrage or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then you just basically are an agent of cleaning service people, and then you can do that with a lot of different industries. You could do it with window cleaning, or you could do it with babysitting. You could do it with where you're doing all the marketing.
You're being the Uber.
Yeah,
you're connecting the rider with the
exactly.
The driver.
These people maybe don't want or have the energy to do all the marketing, but they just want the paycheck. So then you just do all the marketing. Anyway, I've been really interested in reading about all that stuff, but I haven't done it personally, so I can't offer it as a suggestion. It's just, there's a lot of those things out there. There's this girl whose whole YouTube channel, I don't know why she keeps popping up in my feed. I think because I watched one because I thought it was such a fascinating thumbnail and title, which, by the way, there's another thing that you could just do a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of channels that are dedicated to ideas of YouTube channels that you can do without your voice or your face. It's
hilarious.
Using stock footage and taking
using AI voices.
Yeah, using AI voices or rain sounds and making meditation.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, you can make meditation videos, 10-minute meditation videos. You can, there's certain uncopyrighted sound clips of motivational speakers that you can throw in for a 10-minute video and put, I haven't done any of this, but there's lots of channels dedicated to video ideas that you can monetize.
I like how we started with, it's up to your interest, bro. And then we're do a rain channel, bro. Do a fucking
we went into
yoga channel, brother.
We went into if you don't care about interests and you're
Fair.
just you like money. Because I could never do any of these. They just take too much time and I don't care.
You know what I think you should do, though?
What?
Dude, you ever see those videos where you got an anthill and then people pour hot metal in the anthill?
Yeah.
And then they dig out the sculpture?
Art. Yeah.
Ooh. I love that shit because I hate ants so much.
I hate ants so much.
Around this time last year, I was killing so many ants in my house, millions and billions of ants. I was just finding, because I was Googling ant stuff,
yeah.
and then I found this topic, and then this discovery of this kind of art, and I was like, dude, this is my favorite. This is my pornography.
Yeah.
Watching ants get fucking slaughtered.
I saw that exact thing.
By the billions.
But if I find a bug in my house, I rescue it and put it outside, right?
100%.
I do not kill. I do the same
thing.
like
I
killing.
save spiders.
But
Ask
these
Nikki, I save
ants,
spiders.
it got personal last year.
Yeah.
It got really personal. They were all up in our food. They were stealing our cat's food.
They're killing Nikki's
They were
plants.
taking food out of my children's mouths. They're killing my plants. My poor fiddle leaf fig tree never
They turned
recovered.
her fiddle leaf fig tree into a hive with the queen inside of it, brother.
Yeah.
It was war here.
Yeah, it was war.
We
and
saw
so,
hell.
you attack me, I attack you.
They brought the war to us.
They did. So I am not into killing any living being except for ants. They can die and go to hell. They can rot in hell. I hate them.
But and they started the war and I finished it.
That's true.
Just so you know.
Steve is the war general with a statue in our house.
100%.
The statue has not been built yet, but it's going to be probably one day. Anyway, Silly String 81, I hope that helped you. Thank you for being a patron, and we hope that to see you on our next live stream.
Yes, very much.
Or a poker free roll.
Which I won last month.
That's
not
true.
Not to brag, but
which I am upset about.
I did win the whole thing.
That is really upsetting. Like,
I beat the poker queen.
Truly upsetting.
The Crypto King beat the poker queen.
I mostly don't like that he has bragging rights now, so that's...
Well, have you ever won it?
No, I haven't.
So...
Have not.
So I have. So I just wanted to, yeah.
That's just a
little
fair.
aside.
It's fair. I've won third place, I think.
I think
I won third place.
I definitely won third place before.
All right. This one is also a Patreon question. Hi, Bonnie Lass, Nikki, and Crypto Laird Steve.
Let's go.
This must be an Irish or a Scottish.
A crypto lad.
A Scottish or an Irish?
Crypto lord.
Oh, I recently went to Scotland for vacation, so I thought I'd switch up your titles to Scottish versions.
I like
Have
it.
either of you visited Scotland before? It is so beautiful, and the people are a hoot. A hoot and a holler. No, I have not been to Scotland or Ireland.
You'd think I'd go. It's my home country.
Yeah, green.
I know. Well, according to Joe's girl, I'm like not even Irish at all. So whatever.
Well, have you taken a 23andMe?
Of course not. I'm not giving the government. I'm not giving the government my DNA.
Yeah, me neither.
What are you talking about?
I'll give Apple my fingerprint and my face, but I will not give the government my swab of saliva.
That's my bumper sticker.
Now, to get to the main question that prompted me to reach out to you again, in hopes to hear your input. My mom is a bit of a negative Nancy. She thinks everyone that makes any mistake is a dumbass and incompetent.
That's
like my dad.
That's a character.
Yeah. The women in my culture usually gossip a lot and judge others all the time. I grew up with this as the norm and thought it was funny, but as I've gotten older, I just don't care to judge people anymore. Good for you. My mom used to complain a lot about her now ex-husband, and at this point in her life, it's her coworker and my teenage sister. I had to put a stop to her telling me about my sis because it's affecting how I viewed her and was not making me want a relationship with her. She has not told me any negative stuff about her in the last year, so we're better there, but every single time I talk to her, she will full on complain about her coworker the entire time. She might start with a superficial question about how my weekend was, and then when I'm done, she'll go right off about her coworker with the same shit every time. I can sympathize with her and understand people need to vent, but I can't take it every single time. I finally said to her in the nicest way I could that she needs to talk to her boss and coworker again, and it's between the three of them. She says she knows, and sometimes she needs to vent. I said I can't take the venting every single time, and that's what a therapist is for. She said something about a therapist being useless and that there are a lot of negative things going on right now with my sis and coworker that she just needs to vent.
Oh no.
I had to set that boundary because I take on her stress so easily and then can't do anything about it. But part of me feels bad too, and I wish she had another confidant to vent to. I don't want her to feel like she's alone, but I can't help her with any of that stuff. What are your thoughts on this? Thanks again, kitty emoji.
Your coworker, your mom needs a coworker hate shrine at home.
Yeah, like some
100%.
Yeah, like or a punching bag,
a hatred shrine, yeah.
A punching pillow.
That can be part of it.
Yeah.
I really support and endorse hatred shrines.
But really, she should see a therapist.
Well, but she thinks they're real silly. And they'd probably be, I think the therapist would be in her hatred shrine.
That's true.
So that concerns me.
That's true.
That solution concerns me.
It's hard to continuously hear someone vent about the same thing over and over again.
It is.
I will say that.
But sometimes, people really do need to vent. I agree with you. You said that perfectly.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't heal.
And that's what a therapist is for.
And that's what a therapist is for.
And granted, I will agree, sometimes it can take a while to find a good match. Like the first time I went to a therapist, it was a terrible match. And I thought that's all therapy was. And I didn't know that there was different therapists, different strokes for different folks. And I went down a way worse path after seeing this therapist than I was on before I went to him. Thankfully, I ended up seeing much better therapists and realized that there were people that I could actually talk to that would hear me and validate my feelings and give me actual good advice to incorporate into my life. And it really did help a lot. But you have to do some seeking to find one. So if your mom like thinks the first one's dumb, like she can go to the next one. There's like
she thinks it's all dumb. She thinks the category's dumb.
But the talk therapy is just venting. Like if she needs someone to vent to.
That's what I think our beautiful listeners trying to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would approach it from that. Like, hey, Mom, if you want to vent, go vent to a therapist.
Yeah, like that's literally what they're there for. And then they can actually help to heal that part of you that keeps getting triggered by these things.
Dude, my whole family's military. Everyone thinks therapy's dumb as shit. But there's no one in the world who could use it more than them. No one in the world that I could name.
You know what I heard for our parents' generation, to phrase it more like a coach.
Right.
Like, you know, my dad is like an athlete, baseball player, just to like phrase it more like you need like someone to coach you through this emotional part.
Yeah.
Like, so see someone for that.
Love that.
Yeah. And that's like what a therapist does, is like a coach.
Just for the record, just to be clear, Nikki's dad never made the major leagues.
He didn't, but he was getting scouted, and then my mom was pregnant with me, and I ruined my dad's dreams.
Ruined his life, in a way.
And I did it on purpose.
Love it.
I was in heaven, and I was like, hey, who can I fuck with?
Who's not going to the Dodgers?
You. And then I came down, and I guess apparently they were like on birth control or something. I don't know. Like, I was an oops, and but I don't think so, because I wasn't an oops in my mind. I knew exactly what I was here for, and it was to ruin people's lives.
Let's go.
That's what I came here to do.
Especially at poker.
And that's what I did. And I'm still doing it.
Still doing it.
So.
That's right. Don't get seated with her. I'll tell you that.
Oops to you.
Yep.
Actually, my therapist helped me own my oops.
I like that. No, I really like that.
Just kidding. No, but like that sucks. I'm sorry. Like it does suck when you take on.
It's good to set boundaries up and not just be like a fucking walking mat.
I'm glad you did that.
You did good. You did good for yourself, because now your mom's, look, believe it or not, she'll still dump on you, but she'll just do it less.
She'll probably talk shit about you to your sister.
Guaranteed.
But she'll just, you know, at least you won't be drained about it.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Good luck out there. There's not really, I know that's like not a lot, but you know.
Start leaving out magazines about how sick psychology is.
We support you.
Yeah. Leaving out articles.
All right. We're going to go on a quick break, but when we come back, I have another set of questions from you non-Patreon people, but maybe future Patreon people.
Oh, let's hope.
Go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/sticky, and you will also be able to get your questions answered first next time. You know, I'm just saying.
Just saying.
So do what you will on the break. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We just want to take a break to tell you thanks for listening to our podcast. And if you want to rate it, that would be really awesome for us. Like,
listen, we're on break. We're not talking to you like podcast hosts right now. We're just talking to you like people.
As a friend.
And we just want to say, please rate the show, because it helps out huge amounts.
Like, we're not desperate. We're like kind of desperate.
We're giving shout outs right now to all the people who are giving it ratings. So huge shout out right now to Brian Jorgensen. That was sick of you, dude. Thank you. God bless. Huge shout out right now to Mark W. in Springfield, Connecticut.
Back to our podcast.
Jenny Blythe.
Hey, back to our podcast.
In Tuscany,
and
Florida.
Back to our podcast.
God bless you. Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for supporting the show.
And we're back. And I think as a perfect follow-up to our last question about someone's negative Nancy mother, this one is titled, "My best friend says I'm negative and asked me not to be her maid of honor."
Holy shit. Escalation.
Wow.
That's called escalation.
Yeah. Hi, Nikki and Steve. Thank you for continuously doing what you do. I have really mundane work, so listening to your podcast really helps me get through the day. I'm currently single, not related to the story, but listening to you both really gives me hope to find what you both have one day. Aw, we love you.
Thank you. We love you.
Who is this person's name?
Oh, what's that?
What's their name?
This person's name?
Yeah, their silly name.
Oh, Silly Straw 81.
That's not
It's a great name. Wow, that's a good name.
That's not
a good idea for a name.
It's really similar to Silly String 81.
I don't see
All right.
it.
Well, silly straw 81. Anyway, let me get into it. The situation has been on my mind for a while now, and I would really appreciate having both your insights about this. I have a best friend of over 10 plus years of friendship. We've been through several of our deepest lows together, both being there for each other throughout our toughest moments, and now we're in much better places, chasing better things. She is now engaged, living her new home with her fiance and cutest puppy, whereas I just moved to another country for work about 8 months ago to pursue a new life and career trajectory. boundary. I've been having a hard time transitioning into a new environment because I don't know anybody here. So we've been texting each other consistently. Important for context, the place I moved into at the time had a landlord with an aggressive cat where it would attack without provoking and bite and scratch me on several occasions. My best friend asked me to move out right away, but because of other reasons, budget, contract, and me being a people pleaser, I didn't move out and tried to solve the issue by compromising with the landlord on bonding with the cat. Long story short, things didn't work out. I moved after 6 months. Other important context, I went on her bachelorette's trip in Thailand and she got ill from a stomach bug, which was later passed on to me and some of the other bridesmaids on the day before we were supposed to leave. My best friend asked me whether I wanted to get treated at the hospital like her the night before. I naively followed, thinking this was going to be affordable. At the time I had just moved, so I was constrained in terms of my finances, but I thought the treatment would be within my budget. When we reached the hospital, they said it would cost upwards of $1,000 to stay the night for treatment, which was way more than I could afford. I wasn't feeling well, but not ill enough to spend that much.
I'll hang out in the lobby.
My friend heavily pressured me to get treated and I gave in. Damn.
Oh.
When I went back home 2 months ago, my best friend asked me to speak with me one-on-one. In that conversation, she told me that she was becoming a toxic friend because she was talking me behind my back. She said I was stressing her out and how she didn't like how I handled my problems. She called me a negative friend for continuously viewing things in a negative light. Honestly, moving to a different country is hard, and it broke me thinking she was there for me when all this time she thought I was being negative. She said that we didn't share the same life values and she struggles to understand how I process things. She said that she didn't like how I handled the landlord cat situation and she strongly disagrees with me moving out so late when I could have left within the first month. She also said she was prepared that if the conversation didn't go well, she was ready to not be friends with me any longer. And then she proceeded to set boundaries like 1, stripping me of my maid of honor duties and title because if I messed up during her wedding day, she would be even more pissed at me. 2, asking me not to give the best friend speech at her wedding like I was initially asked to. 3, asking me not to create drama like how I was on the last day of her bachelorette's trip. At the time, I was ill and frustrated at the amount of money spent, so I wasn't in the best mood, but I wasn't, quote, creating drama. I was just sulking in a corner being quiet. During the conversation, I did set one boundary with her about the hospital fees where I said, if I really can't afford it, I hope you can respect it next time. She just replied, my intention was for you to get better. How is that bad of me? I understand that it was from a good place, but I just wish you respected that this was my way of doing things. It really hurt my feeling. It felt really hurt about her decisions. It feels like she wasn't letting me be her best friend on her special day and instead viewed me as a threat that might ruin her perfect day, all over something that wasn't made aware of to me until her decision was made. So I decided to choose me instead. I asked myself whether I really wanted to be friends with someone who refuses to see from my side. I'm not sure whether this is selfish. You can call me out on it, but I decided to attend the wedding as a guest, pay for the custom bridesmaid's dress that she made for me, and just go for the dinner instead of her 2-day wedding and leave afterwards. The wedding is in June. Honestly, I'm really nervous. I don't know. Is this the right decision? Wishing you both the best. Sarah, aka Silly Straw.
Sarah, Silly Straw 81. We love you.
We love you.
First of all, your friend has horrible conflict resolution skills.
Yes.
You don't just have a problem with somebody, let it build, and then lay into them with the fucking 4th of July fireworks grand finale.
Yeah, right before the wedding.
What the hell is that about? So you're telling me you had a problem with what happened with the cat? You didn't come to me about that. You're coming to me when it all compounds and builds and builds.
It just seems a little possessive of you didn't do it the way I wanted you to handle the cat thing.
Exactly.
So now I'm mad at you for it.
You disagreed with me, with moi.
I'm mad that it took you 6 months to do the thing I told you to do the first month.
You just dodged a massive bullet.
Yeah.
This bitch is crazy, dude.
Although I will say she is right about you not having the same values in the best way.
In a great way.
In a good way.
Yeah, I mean, dude, she lets the powder keg, it gets 1 inch from exploding and she's like, hey, I think this thing's about to blow. That's insane.
Yeah.
You don't do that to people.
And yeah, that's really that's hurtful that you're supposed to be her best friend. And
that's not best friend shit.
That's not best friend shit.
Fuck no.
No. And
you can't wait. Look, if I have a problem with somebody, I can't wait to address it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to just go, hey, what's up with this? And if she can't do that for you, that's not a best friend.
Yeah.
Best friends would just be like, hey, let's nip this in the bud and let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, and okay, I will confess that with my wedding, I had never been to a wedding before my own in my adult life.
You mean your perfect day?
In my perfect day. Yeah, so I didn't actually know what a wedding day was supposed to look like. I had no idea. I knew you were supposed to pick a maid of honor. I didn't really realize how much was entailed. Like, I didn't realize that it like actually cost some money financially to like plan bachelorette parties. I didn't know any of that. And so the person that I like had for my maid of honor, she wasn't in a great financial position, and also like she didn't do a lot of adult things yet, like rent her own place and like have like adult responsibilities.
Have a car.
I felt bad. Like, it was my bad that I put all those responsibilities on her because I thought that I was just picking a person, you know? But so then instead of stripping her of that title, though, I just added another person. I didn't know why are there rules to a wedding? Like, I don't get it. It's my fucking wedding. So I just added another, like, so I called one the maid of honor and the other the matron of honor.
Boom.
Whatever.
Easy
and
mode.
That one, the matron of honor, very responsible person, been a maid of honor for a lot of different weddings, knew way more about weddings than I knew. So it made sense. It did hurt my first friend's feelings a little bit, but we talked it out.
Yeah.
And I didn't take away anything from her.
You're like, hey, look, you know how you're like kind of a dumb bitch?
No.
It was really, really
Shut up.
It was really nicely done.
Did not say
really
that.
Beautifully handled.
It just like she couldn't really afford to do much, and I felt bad like that. She couldn't come to the bachelorette party because it was in Las Vegas, and
she was a gem.
It cost money.
She was a gem.
Yeah, absolutely.
She loved you so much. She would never have done anything to sabotage anything.
But I felt bad, like, even with that, you know. So like the fact that your friend is just so willing to pull the plug on you because you got sick in Thailand and couldn't afford the hospital bill, like, that's insane to me. That's like super dramatic, and
it's bananas.
Like she's being dramatic and then projecting that you're dramatic.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I do think that...
And because you're not kowtowing to her every demand and desire, you have your own opinions and disagreements on how things should be handled, like anyone would. She's punishing you for it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'm missing context, but it does not sound like you have been necessarily negative, as you are just like venting about being in a new place, which I think any friend would want to be there for.
100%. You
know, to listen to you. So,
by the way, we've called out listeners before. We're not uncomfortable calling you out if we feel a certain way, but we definitely think you're in the right here.
Yeah, I actually think
you're not the asshole.
This is 100% the right move. I would do this too. Yeah. Like, if you don't barely even want me to be there, like, why am I gonna wear a bridesmaid dress and pretend like I'm one of your besties when you've made it very clear that you'd be willing to end this friendship right now?
Yeah, I'm Gucci.
I don't even know if I would show up as a guest. I mean, to be honest, like, I think that's super nice of you to even show up as a guest.
I wouldn't show up.
Yeah. I don't know if you should wear she paid for the custom bridesmaid's dress, but yeah, I don't know if you should wear it.
I wouldn't go as you. How about that? I would go, as Silly Straw 81.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, a best friend breakup is almost more painful than a relationship breakup, especially a 10+ year one.
Yeah, that's brutal.
So I'm sorry that you're going through that, but I promise you're better off in the long run.
100%.
Like, obviously you guys just don't view life the same, and it's better that you know now. And a lot can change in 10 years. Like, people change, and like their core values come out, and it's better that you know this now than just keeping someone in your life because you've already got the sunken time fallacy.
Exactly.
Happening. So good luck to you, Silly Straw 81. I wish you the best. Sorry you're going through this. Our next question is called Bathroom Stuff and Resentment Aren't the Issue, but Reignite the Fire? Question?
Oh.
Hi, guys.
See where this is going? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Please give me a cool nickname. Thanks.
Oh. Silly Scissors 81.
It's very creative.
Thank you. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you get those scissors that cut
so silly.
The craft
and
paper.
they like are wiggly.
It's a wiggly, yeah.
Yeah, it's silly.
Do different shapes.
Why 81 again? No new number? Okay.
It's just improv? Just some improv?
Oh, some improv. Okay. Currently listening to your annual performance review podcast for your marriage. Congratulations to you too. Thank you.
We barely got out of there live.
I so appreciate you two sharing so much about your relationship over the years. It helps your listeners be inspired and also get perspective. Now, before the question, compliments. Oh, yay.
Yay.
Nikki, you're such a wonderfully special person who has inspired me so much and lets me know that it's okay to be a little quirky and that it could actually be a strength. Aw, yay. Yeah, embrace your quirks.
And she got a great ass.
Steve, your love and patience for Nikki. gives me so much hope for the world. Hey,
It's
this
empathy.
compliment seems a little weird.
It's empathy.
And I know that you inspire so many people in their own relationships. I wish everyone could be as caring for one another as you two are. Also, congrats on you both making such big life changes, moving to Vegas. That is so awesome, and your listeners love to see it. Oh, thank you so much,
Thank you very
Silly
much.
Scissors
Thank you.
81. Now let's get to it. How can my husband and I reignite our passionate fire? We both love each other a lot, but I'm afraid of slowly falling into the trap of, if not roommates, loving family.
Oh, no.
We've been together over 8 years, married 1, and we work together and spend a lot of time together. Although we have worked on separating some social circles, so we have things to come back to and talk about. We both have really physical jobs, so over the years, I've noticed the amount of sex we have only evens out to what I consider an optimal or, quote, normal amount when we are on a long, relaxing vacation and we have the physical energy. I know you both preach about bathroom stuff and resentment getting in the way, but I think we're pretty good on that. Bathroom stuff stays quiet unless someone isn't feeling well and is sick, but
And then they're just launching them.
always living in small apartments with one bathroom does challenge the mystery slightly. Moving to a bigger apartment is not an option at all. Cries in worldwide recession.
It's called the water technique, brother. You let that. You don't care about the whales. You fucking let that water run in there. You turn the faucet on.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Resentment, I think we've both had for periods of time over the years, but I actually think we're stronger than ever and super solid. So whatever issues that have been in the past are all in the past because we've worked through it. I actually feel way more loved and cared for than ever before in our relationship and more like a unit. I just wish our intimacy was up to the same level. I have brought this intimacy issue up numerous times over the years because I don't think it bothers my husband as much as it bothers me. For the perspective, I think we both compatibly have very chill sex drives, even when we do have the energy. So it's not like I'm trying to get this time in every night, but a few times a week would make me happier. Nikki and Steve, do you have tips for what you think might work? I know you two have been so lucky and it also worked hard to keep your fire very healthy, but maybe there was a short period it didn't feel that way, or maybe you've given advice for other married friends that worked for them. We are still so early in life and also wanting to start a family soon, so I'd really like to get this part of our relationship also rock solid. Thanks so much. Love you guys. Silly Scissors 81.
Silly Scissors 81. First of all, great name.
Yeah.
Secondly, yeah, look, right now we ain't fucking that much.
That's true.
You know why? Nikki's at the World Series of fucking poker every fucking single day.
Well, not just that. Like, if I'm not at the World Series of Poker, I am at the new podcast that I've been building with Caitlin Komeski. You can check it out. It's called at Aceholes Pod.
Easy.
YouTube.com/@ at Aceholes Pod.
Mark,
if you're into poker, I mean, it's a niche podcast, but
it's our chief competitor.
It's been really fun, but also very time consuming because we're working around poker players' schedules, which they are playing a series right now. It's very physically draining for them to schedule time, but also we want the podcast to be really fun, and it's building something new together with a new person. And so a lot of my brain power and energy is either going to poker or going into recruiting poker players for this new podcast, and then coming up with games and interviews to make the podcast interesting and different than the other. Very time intensive because it's a little baby. It's a little baby podcast. We're just starting it, and it's exciting because it could go anywhere. And we also have sketches we want to do. So it's a creatively exciting time, but it's a physically time consuming and draining time. And so I went from being at home pretty much 24/7. Yeah. Pretty much 24/7.
And now she's gone.
Never leaving unless it's
even Franco, our cat, is on the couch right now because he is so emotionally traumatized by the fact
I leave
that Nikki
more
leaves so
than
much.
I've ever left in our entire life.
That's his mom. And even when she was auditioning back in 2013, 2014, 2015, when she was auditioning, she was home more than now.
Yeah, I would say the last time I was gone this long was 10 years ago in 2013 when I was relaunching my YouTube channel, and YouTube Space had we were renting out space there and for free, and so I really wanted to utilize all the resources I had because I was very poor, could not afford the budget, and they had an editing bay and I couldn't afford an editing program, so I was literally gone 12 hours a day at the YouTube Space filming content or editing content. That's how it feels right now, and I haven't felt this way in 10 years.
Yeah. And that's when we started dating. But yeah, it's wild.
And that was right before I started my vlog channel. Like I got all this organized before I could vlog, and I haven't been vlogging because I have been like just dedicating all the time to doing this podcast.
But not slammed.
All that to say this is that we used to really emphasize a date night every week. And it's still important, I would say. But I think
get back to it.
I think we both recognize that when there's a window of time to do something, it's like you have to do it now. Like you have to like capitalize on that moment because it can slip away. And our relationship is so fucking rock solid that I don't feel like this short window of time of me really putting the pedal to the metal in this other department is gonna hurt our relationship. I very much feel that we've set a solid foundation that we come back to
100%.
And I'm horny all the time, so it like there's no like need to reignite a fire. No. It's more about finding the time and the energy. Yeah,
because we were at a party the other night and like we were just there too long.
I burnt out at the party.
Nikki
I was
done.
like, I'm about to fall asleep at the table. I cannot stay awake any longer.
Yeah, just being
I'm
exhausted.
I'm burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
I'm really like having the least amount of sleep I've ever had in my life. I'm usually like a 7 to 8 hour sleeper, but I don't have time. And my days are just jam packed.
But it's propelled by love. You love what you're doing. You love the space that you're in. And you're in the right space at the right time. And it feels very much like early YouTube where it's like, you got to go out there and attack it.
It's exactly. I haven't felt this way in literally 10 years.
Yeah.
Like 2013 was the last time I felt I had to work this hard, but exciting.
Exactly.
But draining and exhausting. I'm like excited, happy, all the feelings. And then at the end of the day, it's like, man, I really want to have sex, but my body is out for the night. Like it's just gone.
Could she be cheating on me? Absolutely.
100%. Is it really easy to have an excuse?
Oh my God, I was playing poker till 5 in the morning.
I also have like a mansion that I can stay at because that's where we record the other podcast. And I have stayed there.
Yeah, many times.
And it's really close to where the World Series of Poker is.
I'm just saying. Could she be? Absolutely. 100%.
Could that be like why I'm so exhausted? 100%.
Absolutely.
But it isn't.
That's right.
And that's why we're so solid.
We're so good. We couldn't be better.
This actually sounds like you think that.
Wow,
no, people are going to be like, there's a half truth in there.
You don't joke about something unless you think it's true. Dude.
No, really, we're just trying to get ahead of the comments that are like, well, maybe we should not like, burn the candle.
Dude, yeah.
There's like cameras on me at all times. By the way, at the WSOP, because the people that I have been hanging out with and associating with, they have camera crews like on them like at all times. And I will be not accidentally
reviewing some footage.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. No, look, we have such a mature relationship that it's just one of those things where we both know what it takes to build something. And I mean, but dude, it's not like we ain't fucking. We just had sex like, I don't know, like 10 days ago. Yeah, it's just a lot.
Like,
it's just normally it's like once a week.
Yeah, at least once a week.
And now it's like, hopefully it's like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But hey, I think it's still pretty goddamn good.
It's pretty good still. Yeah. I mean, there's a week
the sex is bomb.
Yes.
So.
And that's the thing.
I'll take it.
When the dick is good, you lock it down.
When it's tight, it's right.
But how do you reignite the passion? I mean, I want to help you out more because that was like more of a personal story.
Well, we want to give context because people always give us compliments because we are honest.
Yeah, and we're not going to lie to you. If we're like not getting it in, we're not getting it in.
We're not like, let's stick to the talking points of like every week you got to fuck. It's like, no, dude, we're real people.
I honestly, and not to throw anyone under the bus, but we do know very public couples who lie about it, like in private they say that like it's not happening, but then I've seen like videos where they're like, oh yeah, we fuck it all the time. It's like, no, you're not. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I love documenting the real truth.
It helps people more if you're honest, because then they can relate.
How does that help people if they think we're just like robots that like we stick to it no matter what? No, life happens, okay? And like if we had a kid, it'd be the same way probably.
It'd be worse.
This is like a creative baby, so it's like it just needs to be nurtured a lot more, and pretty soon it'll have legs and it'll walk, and like we can go back to fucking like we used to. But like, yeah, I mean, all of that's new too, because the last time I felt this busy was 10 years ago when we first started dating, and that like we were both really busy and we didn't have sex once a week.
No.
So like
it's because we were physically in 2 different places at all times.
And that's how it is now.
Yeah.
And so I just if I guess if you both said you have both physically demanding jobs. So
you have to, honestly, when it comes to that, it just comes down to time, right?
And it's like we're getting older.
Yeah.
And sometimes I forget that I'm physically limited. Like I think that I have the stamina to like power through 3 poker tournaments and a podcast prepping, and I have to do 5 episodes the next day, and then I'm somehow gonna fit it in and like be in the moment with you. I prefer quality over quantity. So if we're going to have an intimate moment, I don't want to be thinking about 10,000 different things. I want to be in it with you.
100%.
So reigniting the spark, I guess I would ask if it's a physical time restraint or if it's an actual spark that's missing. Because if it's a spark that's missing, that's different.
Well, yeah, because the spark for us is like insane.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking physically
Like I can't
insane.
wait to come home and like make out with him. The other day I was so bummed because he was doing Crypto Corner when I came home.
And she actually made out with me on Crypto
did,
Corner.
but I didn't want to. But I didn't want to be all
and
mushy.
Chad was like, God damn, how do I get a love like that?
Yeah, but I just couldn't wait to go home and make out with my husband. And then I got home and he was all busy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We have that. I mean, we have that beautiful connection no matter what. It just is there every time I look at this stupid chick.
Yeah.
Like it's just there.
But I would definitely say that if you focus on the quality over the quantity, and then when you guys are together, like really just focusing on each other.
Checking in.
Like make sure that you're not multitasking.
Yes.
Doing like half your mind is somewhere else. Yeah. I think that really helps. Also, physical activities together, walking. We go on walks together in the morning. Yep. We like doing like just things that we can do as a team. Like he's been making me talk. Like we have taco night.
Yep.
And he'll make me tacos.
Yep. I make her breakfast every day.
It makes me feel very loved, and I like fall deeper and deeper into love every time when that happens. We watch alien documentaries together.
We love that shit.
We like to be mentally stimulated. Like just finding the things that like are stimulating that we do as a couple.
We also have an extremely weird, almost lizard brain way of like, we want to do the same things at the same time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, babe, how good does it sound to like dump trash on our head and watch fucking Love Island?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes.
Yes. I need to turn my brain off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like but like at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, well then you'll go watch it without me.
And then I also feel like, I don't know if this is just me or like, what do you feel about this? But I haven't felt, this happened before in our relationship, but I don't feel this way right now where like one person wants it more. Like,
no.
I feel like we're both tired.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I want it, but then like you're working on crypto stuff. And then like by the time you get upstairs, I'm just like so tired.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like you want it, but I'm out busy or whatever. And then I get tired.
It's the best part about having a one-track mind and the worst part of having a one-track mind is that like when I'm really focused on something, I can't focus on anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm just absorbed with it, and I'll look up and I'm like, holy shit, 3.5, 4 hours.
That's I think exactly why I'm never worried about you, and you are never worried. You shouldn't be worried about me ever.
But
like I mean, you should be worried about me because like there's a lot of opportunity. But when I'm focused on one thing, it's the same. It's the same. Like if I'm focused on the poker game, like I just want to figure out what's going on in the game. I'm focusing on everybody's tells. I'm focusing on like the game part. Yeah. And when I'm focusing on the podcast, it's the same way. Like where I like want everything to go a certain way. And if we lost the audio on one, and that was a fucking nightmare. And
that was bad. That was bad. You want to talk about not fucking?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not fucking tonight.
When I'm stressed, it's harder to get turned on. Like.
Dude, before this,
I need to be relaxed.
Nikki was listening to an audio file, and I was like, it's gone. And I was like, I'm not fucking tonight, I'll tell you that. But then she found it, thankfully.
Yeah, I did. So we are fucking tonight. You're saying we're fucking tonight?
Let's go.
This conversation is making me want to. I have actually, because of the lulls, I've been having wet dreams. Like where
you were telling me that.
I wake up orgasming.
You were telling me that yesterday morning.
Did not put that into, like, I did not think that was going to happen.
Yep.
But anyway, I hope that this helps a little bit, maybe like to feel like you're normal, this happens in couples. Like don't think that you have to be together with 8 years with someone and like you won't have like a downswing, a lull.
Happens.
But,
circumstantial
but
lull.
two, like, carve out quality time, and then maybe you'll have such a fun time, and maybe you'll get more frequent. I don't know. And it sounds like you said he's not as interested, or like, you know, you want it more than him, but maybe
it doesn't take much to turn a dude on.
You could tempt his lizard brain a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to turn a dude on, man. This bitch just has to come at me with some fucking yoga pants on.
Sometimes,
some shit.
if I feel like I've been getting rejected too much, I'll just call him upstairs for a meeting and be in a maid uniform.
Yep, I love it.
So,
by the way, that
has never failed.
One of my favorite memories ever is when you called me upstairs and you were like wearing this super sexy fucking little outfit. And you bought me like fucking Johnny Walker Blue, like little sample size of Johnny Walker Blue from the airport or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fucking shit.
Listen, when I want it, I get it.
And I drank it, and I fell asleep, and we didn't even fuck.
And we didn't fuck. And I didn't get it. And so the next day, when I was
3 days later,
I was in sweatpants.
3 days later.
And I was like, do you want to fuck?
And he was like, do you have any Johnny Walker Blue?
My tummy hurts.
Let me know when you have some of that.
All right. This next one is titled, Do Hot People Just Suck? Please help me.
This is a great title.
It's a great title. Hey, Nikki and Steve, love the podcast and the advice you give. I need some advice, and I'm hoping you could shine some insight into my life. I've been seeing this guy for a little over a month now, and in the beginning, it was great. LOL, the fact that it's literally been a month, so it technically should still be the beginning. We met out one night, which was super refreshing because I kind of thought that was unrealistic for me with how I am and the fact that people rarely approach anyone anymore. But he seemed very interested after we first met, really eager to take me out, and just overall was putting a lot of effort in. He was great with planning dates. However, the texting was always kind of lacking, but he works overnight, so we were basically on opposite schedules. That didn't really bother me because the effort was there in person, but now I'm feeling the effort has kind of come to a stop and communication is just lacking. He always had a problem with being late, like 2+ hours late. Jesus, that's really late, which I always thought was
so
rude.
Late, it's insane.
But he would seem very apologetic when he finally would show up.
2 hours?
You've been kind of pushing the line.
I've never been 2 hours late.
Maybe.
No way.
At least an hour late before.
I've definitely been an hour late before back when I was doing the 405 all the time.
So it kind of feels like he's blowing me off and keeping me waiting. It doesn't seem to think it's a big deal. Probably because I'm too scared to say it bothers me. True. You should tell him that. I guess my question is, how can I tell if the chasing just stopped because he's now comfortable with me, or does he just not really care about me? I do feel like he likes me, but I don't know how to interpret his lack of effort. I feel like it's almost like we wouldn't hang out if I wasn't on top of trying to make plans even the day of. And for some context, we only see each other once a week due to his work schedule. He canceled on me last minute last week and made all these promises about upcoming things, going on a really good date, meeting my parents, etc. Then that week rolls around and he leaves me waiting and shows up to my house kind of late just to hang out and not go anywhere. I feel like he makes a lot of empty promises about the future, but his actions just don't seem to line up. I don't know. I'm also just terrible overthinker, and I've been riddled with anxiety to the point where I can't even enjoy the early stages of dating with him, which kind of sucks. I no longer feel giddy and excited. I just really get uneasy because I can't tell if he likes me. It's getting so long, so I'll try to end it here. LOL. He's very attractive, literally the hottest guy that's ever been interested in me, and yesterday was the first time I hung out with him without drinking, and I can't tell if he has no personality or was just maybe having an off day. I don't know. And he's just too hot, so he doesn't think he has to try anymore? Question marks.
Love it.
I'm not used to being with someone so attractive. LOL. I think I like him, but my anxiety is giving the best of me. By the way, he's meeting my parents next week, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sorry if this is all over the place. I don't even know what my question was anymore, but anyway, any advice is appreciated. Please keep me anonymous.
Let me help you out here. He likes you. Just chill the fuck out.
I feel the opposite.
What?
Yeah.
Then you're wrong.
Oh.
He absolutely likes her.
Okay, I 100% think that you should talk to him about this
about the
being
late
thing.
Shit. Yeah.
I don't know. It's triggering me because my ex-boyfriend was like this in the beginning stages of dating, where like he would just make a lot of promises about dates and like fill my head with all these romantic ideas and then wouldn't do them.
Show up, yeah.
And like the actions wouldn't be there to match up. And I am an overthinker as well, was riddled with anxiety. All of these things are really ringing a bell in a fat way. And yeah, I guess you can make a case that he likes me, but he was also just like didn't care if that hurt my feelings. Like would say that he cared when I brought it up, but then didn't remedy it with actions. And it never changed. And I never felt loved by him fully. I always felt like he would I couldn't depend on him. If he said he was going to be there, it could go either way.
Got it. Oh, that's too bad.
And it really sucked. And then he did blame it on his depression, which could be, yeah, I mean, like, depression is a thing and it does hurt people around you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've dealt with depression too, but it just felt like the communication, just tell me that you're not going to do that. Don't tell me you're going to do one thing and then not do it. Like, just tell me you can't do that thing then.
But what about how he's going to meet her parents?
So my ex-boyfriend met my parents within the first month too.
Okay.
I don't know. It just triggers a lot of like this.
Maybe he's too oafy. He's like, oh, that's not a big deal. I meet parents all the time.
And like, I felt like my ex was a narcissist. And if this guy is super attractive.
Your ex was a narcissist for sure.
Yeah. And like, he wasn't even that attractive.
No.
I don't think he was attractive really. But I mean, he's in a traditional way.
He's an angles player.
But if your guy is actually very hot, then I mean, it really goes well in his favor. Like, if he's a narcissist, then that's even more of a reason for him to think he's more important than you.
You gotta like people more than for their hot though.
And also, like, if he has no personality when you're sober, it sounds like you are just interested in the hotness part.
Yeah, you might be being shallow.
It might be a both you thing, you know? Like, it might be that you really like him because he's hot and he's into you, and this is the first time that you've felt that way. I mean, had someone feel that way about you. That's super attractive, but when you were honest with yourself, you said he was not that interesting.
Okay, Nikki swayed me. I'm with Nikki now.
Okay, sick. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So like look, he could like you.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's not lining up his actions with his words, does it matter if he likes you or not, or if you don't feel liked? Like, if I don't receive the love, if you say you love me all damn day, but I'm not receiving it because the way that I receive love is through actions, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly.
If you love me for reals in your mind, I'm never going to feel loved by you. And so I kind of feel like it's better to cut it off short. But I mean, have some conversations. Have some conversations. Meet the parents. Blah, blah, blah.
This is not breakup button material.
It's not breakup button yet. But if you have these same problems come 5 months from now,
yeah.
I gotta say,
if you have a couple more sober nights and you're like, this guy's stale as shit.
I think after 6 months, it's hard to hide your true personality from someone. So like, it starts to leak out. After 6 months, you let me know if things have changed. I mean, and it's already been, because I took a while on answering these questions. So this was actually sent in May 2nd.
Okay.
So we can tell me in 5 months.
We're catching up.
Yeah. But anyway, I wish you the best with that.
Seriously, let us know. Please keep us posted.
We did have a few more questions, but we're at our hour mark. And so I will save these questions from back in April. Sorry. I will answer them on the next one. And if you have any questions, send us an email, podcast@nikki.limo, nikki.limo, or join our Patreon, patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. You will get first dibs on your questions being answered. And we do answer questions that are not relationship oriented, although we are not experts in any category. And I guess if we were to choose a category, relationships would probably be...
That's our shit.
Our
bread and butter, as they say.
Knowledgeable.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been through a lot, even before each other.
We've been through hell.
I think there's a lot of flavors of relationship to pick experiences from.
We've been the good guy in the relationship. We've been the bad guy in the relationship.
Yeah.
We've been it all.
We've been all the things.
All of them.
I've never cheated on someone, though.
I only cheated on someone when she was a bitch.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and when I just wanted to, because like this chick wouldn't suck my dick, and so she was being a bitch. But then like my ex would suck my dick, so I was like, okay, I'll cheat on you.
People are gonna believe you.
No, that's a fact.
But that did happen.
That did happen. That's a fact.
Yeah. I actually was scared of that happening to me because of the stories you were telling.
Yeah.
They're like, they all went the same way. Like, ex breaks up with you, breaks your heart, so then you date another girl right away.
Revenge.
And then you cheat on the new girl with your ex because once the ex starts crawling back to you.
That's right.
And I was like, hey,
literally crawling.
Your ex broke up with you 2 weeks ago and now you're I'm the new girl. Is this the same story that you've done twice already before?
And I'm like, we'll find out.
And we did.
And we did.
It's been 10 years. I'm still scared.
You should be.
I'm still
Keeps
scared.
you
It's the
on
long
the
game.
edge of like I said, I always tell people, I'm like, Nikki's my current wife. That's all I have to say about that.
It's true. I am his current wife.
Keeps her on the
But he lets me play poker.
Why are you winking? What's that? I saw the wink. Oh, you weren't winking.
People love
You're
to
blinking.
poker. They hardly know her.
So stupid. Thank you guys. We love you guys.
We
Seriously,
love you guys.
appreciate you guys so much.
I wish you guys the best with
Yeah,
your sex
for real.
lives and your bridesmaids'
Keep
lives.
it 100 out there.
Keep it 100. Silly strings and silly scissors and silly straws.
81.
81s.
Be good now. We'll talk to you on the next one. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.